In 1984, a couple named Augusto and Michaela Odon noticed something was wrong with their son, Lorenzo. He was losing his balance. His hearing was fading, his behavior was changing in ways no parent want to witness. The diagnosis came like a verdict. ALD, a rare genetic disorder where the body cannot break down certain fatty acids. These acids build up protective sheath around nerve cells in the brain. Children with this condition were expected to lose movement, speech, and sight, usually within 2 years of diagnosis. The doctors were compassionate, they were also honest. There was no cure. There was, at the time, barely any research. Most families told this would spend their remaining time in grief. Augusto and Michaela did something different. They were not scientists. Augusto worked in economics at the World Bank. Michaela had worked as a linguist. Neither had any formal medical training. But they had something medicine didn't always reward: relentless, disciplined curiosity. They began reading every medical paper they could find. They taught themselves biochemistry from scratch, sitting in libraries late into the night. They attended medical conferences uninvited, asking questions that made researchers uncomfortable, not because the questions were foolish, but because they came from people without a medical degree, daring to challenge experts. For years, they pieced together fragments and they consulted chemists, they corresponded with researchers across countries. They faced skepticism, closed doors, and colleagues who felt two parents had no business questioning established science. Eventually, working with a British chemist, they arrived at a mixture of two ordinary substances, oleic acid and erucic acid, found in common vegetable oils, combined in careful proportion. This mixture appeared to slow and, in some cases, halt the abnormal buildup of fatty acids in the blood. It became known as Lorenzo's oil. It did not reverse the damage already done to Lorenzo's nervous system. He remained severely disabled for the rest of his life, but the progression of the disease in his blood chemistry slowed dramatically. And later research showed that when given to the boys diagnosed early, before symptoms began, the oil could early delay or even prevent the onset of the disease altogether. Lorenzo lived until the age of 30, far beyond what any doctor had predicted in 1984. Augusto and Michaela spent the rest of their lives running a foundation to fund ALD research and support other families. Their story was made into a film in 1992, starring Nick Nolte and Susan Sarandon, which brought global attention to a disease almost no one had heard of. This isn't a story about a miracle cures. It's a story about what happens when love refuses to accept the limits of what's known. Augusto and Michaela were extraordinary. Were not extraordinary because they were scientists. They became scientists because they refused to be the ordinary and the grief. So, sometimes the most powerful research does not start in the laboratory. It starts at a child's bedside. Thank you so much.